Hey everyone, we are so excited to be back with you.
Welcome back to Skills Training Session 2. We knew you wouldn't give up on yourself, and we know you're going to see this program through to the very, very end. You're about halfway through right now. We have loved seeing you hit apply and take action on all the skills that you're learning. You're in for a treat as we have even more critical skills to teach you right now. So we're going to focus next on having successful parties and booking and recruiting at those successful parties. So let's talk about, first of all, keeping yourself organized, keeping yourself using a system of tracking at your parties. And don't get bogged down by which kind of tracker I use or Stacy uses or your director uses. You need a tracker. You can make it your own, but your tracker is going to have some sort of semblance to something like this. And you may be wondering, well, what are the most critical things for me to track? And what I'm going to tell you is a list of things we think are most important for you to track. First of all, you want to write down physically the names of every ordering guest. Those are the people in your hot little hand that you're going to work on for future business and future big orders, these sort of things. You're building a rapport, and your first target audience is ordering guests. So you must write their names down. You also are going to be recording Host Booking Challenge participants. And you're going to hear about the Host Booking Challenge in just a couple of minutes, but you need to record that. Those are the people that your host chooses to work this Host Booking Challenge, and you have to know who they chose. Do not rely on your memory. Remember, you're doing 4 or more parties every week. You can't remember that. You're also going to be putting some designation by rock star party guest. You're going to put a check mark in a column. You're going to put a star. You're going to have a symbol. You must track who the rock star guests are. You're also going to want to have a tracker. I like along the bottom of mine that has a daily sales count and a daily bookings count. Remember, sales and bookings both have a ton of value to your party. Don't just track the sales and the bookings. So along the bottom of mine is each day of the week, and I have written what the sales are for each day. It's really fun and really motivating for you and for your host to see the days that it jumps. It also helps you be a student of your template and to see which days you have a big bump and know, like, oh, that worked well, that doesn't work. Trackers help you study patterns. And when you don't do that, some things you're just going, but it felt good. We're not about just feeling good. We're about seeing results and being a student of what's working and what's not always working. Of course, you're going to want to track on your form those that participate but maybe haven't ordered yet. You're going to be jotting those names down because those are people that are enthusiastic about Pampered Chef, or they're enthusiastic about their host. You're also going to record when you send a thank you message for orders, or you do any sort of interaction with someone. You need to record that as well. You can have even more columns than that, but those are kind of like the starting pieces to what you're going to want on a very consistent virtual party tracker.
Yeah, and another really important column is your recruit leads column. The whole purpose of this program and really in Pampered Chef is to enrich lives, right? And one of the best ways we can enrich lives is by inviting people to join our team. So we're going to talk very quickly about the recruiting process and tracking that, of course, on your parties. So we teach that recruiting is really a 4-step process. It's the 4 I's. Step 1 is inform. Step 2 is invite. Step 3 is inquire. And then step 4, remember we shared this in the last skills training, the fortune is in the follow-up. Step 4 of recruiting is intentional follow-up. So let's start with step 1. It's the easiest step of all because it's probably already built into your party template. That's the inform. Let's show you a quick example of what informing looks like. This is a post that's in my party template. I just downloaded this image from Marketing Imagery, put it on the background, and asked them, to share which perk would be their favorite Pampered Chef perk if they were to try out being a consultant. And you can see there were comments on here. People share that they love to travel, they love trips, never pay full price. This is all informing. Now that's great, but that's not what recruits someone to your team though. The next step is the invite. Reaching out to these people and asking them if they would like to learn more about the Pampered Chef business. So you can see that I tagged a couple of the people and let them know that I sent them a message because I'm not yet Facebook friends with them. So there's a chance that the message that I sent them went into their message request. So let me talk about what I send to people when I'm inviting them to learn more. And honestly, it doesn't really matter too much what you say as long as you're inviting them, as long as you're asking them to learn more. So in that particular post, I say something like, "Hi, Julie. I'm running Cindy's online Pampered Chef party, and I saw that you commented," and then I insert the perk that they say, "I saw that you commented that traveling would be a perk that you'd love if you were a consultant. This may be totally out of the blue, and I don't know if you've ever thought about this before. Pampered Chef is having great success right now, and we could use more consultants. I'm curious if I shared with you how you could do this all online in a couple of hours a week, would you be interested in learning more?" So here's the format that we want you to use in your asking. If I, would you. The if I, would you solves their problem. If I could show you how you could do this, if I could show you how you could earn a trip, if I could show you how you could earn some extra income, if I could show you how you could get products at a discount, would you be interested in learning more? So your invite is just asking them to learn more. A lot of people are going to say no. Same with reaching out for those bookings. We want you to get comfortable with people telling you no. And most people say no 3 to 4 times before they say yes to anything. So let's get some of these no's out of the way early in the party. So when you invite someone to learn more, you just want to make a little note on your tracker about that. Now, what do you do when someone says, "Well, maybe"? I actually had someone recently who said, "Well, I'm not sure that I'd want to do it, but I'd be opening to learning more." That's when you move into the inquire. An inquire is just really a conversation that always ends with a question. You have to be so careful not to throw up too much information on people. Try to listen by asking questions more than you are talking. So just remember, no matter what you say to them when you're typing it out, always make sure the last thing you type out is a question. So some of the questions might be, well, what are some of the things that interest you most about this? Have you ever done anything like this in the past? Are you currently working another job? How would the extra income benefit you? Do you have, and then you can just keep going on and on and on. Who do you think of that might want to host your first parties? Like, the deeper the conversation goes, the deeper the questions go. The last question you always want to ask is, do you have any more questions, or are you ready to get started? If they say, "I'm ready to get started," then great. You're going to send them that link to your personal website, the Be a Consultant that we showed you in the previous video. If they still have more questions, or if at any point during that inquire process, you start to feel nervous, you're not sure what to do, remember, use us or your director and let us help guide you through that inquire process. Start a 3-way chat with us. And if they are a not right now, maybe in the future, find out when that future is. Is it next month? Is it next week? I have someone who told me this past week when I was inquiring her, she said, "Check back with me before the end of the month." If I hadn't asked that, I may have waited a month, 2 months, 3 months. Always get that permission to follow up and find out when it is. That's the last step of recruiting. It's the intentional follow-up where you're asking them to join your team, or you're finding out when you're going to circle back with them. You've got your booking contacts tracker. Make a recruiting list. Make a list of all of the people that have said, yes, I might be interested in the future. Maybe even get permission to circle back with them at the beginning of each month, because Pampered Chef often offers signing bonuses, and that's a great time to reach back out to someone and share what's new with Pampered Chef.
Absolutely. So we've talked a little bit about, of course, using your tracker, how to keep track of these things. One of the biggest focuses at your virtual parties we've been talking about now with the whirlpool and getting the future bookings is, of course, the bookings and getting them from the parties that you worked so hard to get on your calendar the last 2 weeks. So there's 4 ways that you can leverage bookings at your parties that you have booked right now. Who's excited about that? I am. So the first way that you're going to do this is taking advantage of checkout chats. And checkout chat is simply you reaching out to the people who place an order and doing a checkout, just like if they were standing at a register and you would have a conversation. So you're going to have a series of up to 3 checkout chat conversations. You can keep track of those in a Google document or in an Evernote. I personally use text replacements or a shortcut, and you can Google that depending on which kind of phone you have, and you use a simple couple of letters that trigger a whole phrase that you can use. If you're opening your email from your phone, you can press on their phone number and it will load it into a text message, and then you can put in your text replacement or your shortcut words and it'll fill. It will take you 20 to 30 seconds tops to do your checkout chats. So what are you doing in a checkout chat? Each one has its own purpose. Checkout chat number 1 is some form of a thank you. Thank you, Stacy, for your order and your support of Joe's party. Maybe share some information about shipping and that you're appreciative of their patience and their support of your small business during this time. Done. Checkout chat is a gratitude effort. Like, that's your reach out. Checkout chat 2 is happening as you're doing party wrap up. We know it's so important for your host to get bookings. They are going to get great benefits. So it's your job to go after bookings for them. So checkout chat 2 is as you're getting ready to close out the party. And you're going to be able to say, before we close out, Stacy, I want to make sure you know that Joe gets credit for all bookings. He actually gets a bonus when he has at least 3 bookings. Would you like to be one of his bookings? You're going to ask for the booking for your host. Now, again, just like we've learned in previous sessions, some people will respond yes right away or no right away. When they do that, they're not getting checkout chat 3. But what the majority of them are going to do is 0, nothing. They're not going to respond right away for all the reasons we've already talked about. So you're going to have a checkout chat 3 that's the follow-up, because again, fortune is in the follow-up, and your job, your passion is to get bookings for your host and to get that 3 or more parties. So you're going back after that, and that is checkout chat number 3.
Right. So you just heard Julie say, our passion is to get those bookings for our hosts. Booking from parties is about keeping our businesses going, and it's also helping our hosts maximize their benefits. Because remember, when a host gets 3 bookings from their party, not only do they get to buy the future party pick at each of those parties, but they're also going to get a $50 credit, a $50 shopping spree. It's like another party that they get to have host benefits from just by their friends having parties. So in addition to doing checkout chats, the second way that you can get bookings from your parties is by partnering with your host and working together as a team to get those bookings. So I'm going to screen share again and share some what we call a host booking challenge that you can do with your host. And this is like a 4-step process. You can see in the right screen there, Julie, just want to make sure.
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
great. So this is a message that you will do individually to each host. First message is really just sharing all of the benefits that they will receive when they have a booking from their party, and then also sharing the benefit of what they get when they get 3 bookings. So it sounds like this. Hey there, I can't wait to see what you pick out with your host rewards on Thursday. That's the day my host shop. My job is to help you get as many rewards and benefits from hosting as possible. In addition to the rewards you'll see in your cart, you also get a 10% discount for an entire year. It's connected to your email address. Another benefit is that you get to buy an item 40% off at every party that is booked from your party. The party just needs to qualify with at least $200 in sales. And there's more. When you have 3 friends and family members book parties from yours, after the 3rd party is submitted, in addition to those discounted items, you'll receive a $50 credit on your account that never expires. It's a win-win for both you and your friends. I have a pretty easy way to help you find those 3 friends. Do you want my help? So what's great about this is you are beginning that partnership. They are basically giving you permission to help them get those 3 bookings when they say yes. And then the wording is a little bit different for a fundraiser because in addition to all of those benefits, the organization that you're running a fundraiser for also gets a cash donation for every booking. So then the second message is, great, all you need to do is message 10 to 15 friends to see if they would be interested in hosting their own party and include me in the message. I'll even give you the words you can send or modify to them. Would you like the words? So 2 important things here. 10 to 15 friends. Just like you need to make 30 contacts to get all of those bookings, your host needs to message 10 to 15 friends to get those 3 bookings from his or her party. And then would you like the words? When someone gives you permission to give them the words, they're going to be more likely to use the words rather than just saying, here are the words, go do it. So then the third message is just a reminder to include you in the message so that you can follow up because the fortune is in the follow-up. And then I always just like to promise that I won't harass anyone. And then I send them the words that they can use. So when they do that, just like Julie shared earlier, I'm going to mark on my tracker who my host has challenged, who she or he has started the group chat with so that I am not also texting them and asking them to book a party. We only need to ask them in one place. I will tell you right now, most people do not respond when that host sends the message. So I like to send a message that says, I would love to work with you. I tag the guest host and I insert my host name, thought of you because most of the time it's a she, thought you'd make a great host and like to earn some freebies. Super easy. What do you think? They still don't usually respond. It's not till that 3rd ask when I come back and follow up with them again that they will often book that party. And when they say no, thank you, I just say, okay, thanks for letting us know. If anything changes in the future, I hope you'll think of me. So I didn't talk about this right here. What I like to do also is I'm tracking who's been engaged in the party. I've maybe made some notes of some people that like some power tools or maybe have indicated that on a survey slip or whatever that they like something in particular. So I'm often encouraging my hosts to message certain people just to kind of get them started because a lot of times they will be the ones who are most likely to host a party just because they've been super engaged. They're that rock star guest like Julie was talking about. All right, so I mentioned survey slips. Let's talk about that for a second. I stopped my screen share, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's try that again. Here we go. So you want to do a survey slip in your party. I usually post it on the last day. It's super simple. You can Google how to create a virtual party survey slip. Or no, I'm sorry, that's not right. How to create a, this is a form. Isn't that the tool that it is in Google?
Yes.
A Google form, right. So it's just a Google form. We call it a virtual party survey slip. The important thing here is the contact information. You always want to make it required. This is a great way to get contact information, cell phone numbers, email addresses for people who were maybe engaged in the party but didn't order, because you can reach out to them. You can also add them to your guest list and put them in as a booking, even if they haven't booked yet. So as you're working with them, if they do book, they will count as one of those 3 parties booked for your host. So name, their host name. This is really important because you're going to want to know who to credit them to. Cell phone, email. I like to get some feedback on the length of my party, the number of posts, and then I just ask them to check all of the things that they are interested in. And then here's another really important question. What items do you still have on your wish list? So when I'm doing that checkout chat, if my host hasn't challenged this person to book a party, I can insert something like, I saw that you still have the air fryer on your wish list. And I can weave that into the ask for the booking. And then I also just give them a place to leave any feedback that they want from me about the party. So one tip that has helped me to get great responses from my surveys is I go to my tracker. I've been tracking who's ordering, who's participating but hasn't ordered. And after I post that tracker, I tag all of those people in the comments. And I actually give away 100 tickets for filling out the survey. So I tag them all and say, here's an easy way to earn 100 tickets in our final prize drawing. And that, I'm going to say, probably quadrupled the number of people that filled out my survey just by doing that one small little thing.
I love that. That is a great idea. So you've heard 3 ways to get bookings. There's one more way to get bookings from your parties, and that is the non-ordering guest. We know that there's way more members who join a group than actually place an order. What message is getting sent from those people who come to a party, had to click join, but don't actually place an order? Often it might be, I don't have the budget to buy anything, but I really did want to help my friend out. Guess how they can help their friend out? Be one of their hosts, be one of their bookings. And so it's really important for you to make an effort to reach out to those non-ordering guests. And so you can do that by sending them a message, and you would do that in your Facebook Messenger. And you, if you're familiar at all, know that often you're going to be in the request folder or the other folder. And sometimes that can get kind of lost. So you want to find a way to draw attention to the fact that you sent the non-ordering guest a message. So there's 2 ways you can do that. I do a post in my party after I've gone through and done my non-ordering messages. And just a little tip, I don't do 50 at a time, or there may be a tech issue or Facebook may not like me. So I do spread those out to not appear spammy. But once I know I've made it through my list, I do a post in my party group that says, hey party peeps. It's a graphic that just says, hey party peeps, you've got mail. Or you can do a GIF that says, you've got mail, and tell them check your inbox because I sent you a message. If you choose to include in your message, the things I would say I include is a link to order if they want, because remember, by definition, they haven't ordered yet. They're a non-ordering guest. I'm going to ask them if they'd like to be one of their host bookings, and I'm always going to include a fun little recipe. So I can say, hey party peeps, you've got mail, check your inbox, we're doing party wrap up, and I included a fun recipe for you. Easy. There's some, urgency or excitement to go see what recipe I sent them. They'll open it. So I do that post and I tag every non-ordering guest, okay? There's another thing you can do where anyone who's commented on any post, you can reply to it. It's like the friendly reminder tag, and you tag their name and say, like Stacy showed us earlier, hey Stacy, I sent you a message, be sure to check your box. I included a fun recipe for you, or whatever you want to say to make sure they go check their message box. You want to find a way to get a hold of those non-ordering guests because they are a great opportunity for you for future business.
All right, it's homework time. Congratulations, you made it through skills training session number 2. So here's your homework. We want to make sure that you are tracking in your parties. Believe me, this can make a huge difference in your success. So be sure to get a tracker from your director and print one out for every host this week. Don't forget to offer that business opportunity to them. Create a survey slip and post it in your parties, tagging all of your participating guests and ordering guests. We also, as you're tracking, want you to highlight or circle the people that have commented on a inform post, on a business opportunity post, so that when we talk with you next, you can share about how that invitation process went, and if you got into the inquire stage with them or not. And then we just want you to decide and dedicate and commit to doing that checkout chat and host booking challenge and survey slips and messaging the non-ordering guests on every single party. Because when you have parties, you have opportunity. And are you ready? To get the link to our next live coaching call, the secret phrase is take action. Take action. All right. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.